All right, welcome. Today we are diving into a really profound chapter from the Avatamsaka Sutra. Now, this is a truly majestic Buddhist text, and it takes this idea of giving, something we all think we understand, and it just completely flips it on its head. It reveals a spiritual path that goes way, way beyond simple charity. So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute heart of the matter. How is it possible that the very act of doing good can become a spiritual trap? I mean, it sounds totally backward, right? But this ancient text argues that if we don't make a crucial shift in our understanding, our best intentions can actually end up reinforcing the very ego we're trying to let go of. And that really brings us to our first section here, the paradox of giving. See, this chapter marks a huge turning point on the spiritual journey. It's that exact moment where a practitioner has to shift gears from just accumulating good actions to cultivating a deep, profound wisdom.
Okay, so this is the crucial pivot. The whole journey starts with something the text calls extreme altruism, and they mean it. It's a radical commitment to giving. But here's the key. The goal isn't just to be a good person. The goal is to use that intense altruism as a vehicle, a tool, to arrive at what's called the wisdom of emptiness. Without that second step, giving itself just becomes another thing to be attached to.
Now, what's really interesting here is how it breaks down into these two stages. You see, in the first stage, the focus is all external, giving away everything you have, everything you identify with. But the second stage, the more advanced one, is completely internal. It's all about liberating yourself from any attachment to the act of giving, from the identity of being a giver, or from any expected reward, even a spiritual one. Let's see just how far this goes in our next section, Renouncing Everything. This is where we explore just how radical this first stage of giving truly is. And I mean, it is truly radical. The sutra lays out these categories of giving that cover, well, literally everything a person could possibly cling to. As you can see, it starts with wisdom, which makes sense. But it very quickly moves to giving away one's body, power, family, home, and ultimately, all of your resources. It's honestly a shocking and totally all-encompassing list.
And when you see that list, it naturally leads to this huge question, why? I mean, what could possibly be the purpose of such extreme, almost incomprehensible generosity? It's not just about making the receiver happy, at least not primarily. The real purpose is something much, much deeper.
And here is the brilliant answer. The sutra explains that our sense of self, our ego, is built on our attachments to our bodies, our families, our wealth, our status. So this extreme giving isn't really about the objects being given away. It's a systematic tool for dismantling the ego's entire structure, layer by painful layer. This whole process of deconstructing the self leads us directly into the philosophical heart of this chapter, the wisdom of emptiness. This is where we finally understand the real why behind all of it. The core concept here is called the emptiness of the three wheels. It sounds complex, but it's an incredible idea. It basically says that when you look deeply enough, you realize that the giver, that's you, the receiver, that's them, and the gift, or the act of giving itself, none of them exist as solid, separate, independent things. They're all just interconnected parts of one single unfolding process. The sutra itself puts it this way, just stripping away all of our usual labels. When you act from this wisdom, there's no fixed concept of an actor who is doing the good deed, or a receiver who is getting the benefit. There is just the compassionate action itself, arising naturally. And to help make this less abstract, the text uses these beautiful poetic metaphors. Our experience of reality is like a dream, an echo, a shadow, an illusion. Now, this doesn't mean that nothing exists. It means that nothing exists in the solid, permanent, independent way that we usually think it does.
So, the big question is, how do we apply this profound wisdom in our lives? This brings us to Good Deeds, No Attachment, a section that's all about finding that practical middle path and avoiding some really common misunderstandings.
Because the sutra warns against two major traps, two extremes. On one side, you have clinging to merit, or what we might call spiritual materialism. Doing good deeds just to rack up cosmic brownie points. And on the other side, you have nihilism, the belief that if everything is empty, then nothing matters and our actions have no consequences. Both of these are total dead ends.
The true path, the middle way, starts right here, with the deep, gut-level understanding that all phenomena are like a magical illusion. They're fleeting, they're interconnected, and they don't have a solid, independent self at their core.
But, and this is the absolute crucial part, that understanding does not cancel out cause and effect. This is the genius of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Even inside an illusory world, our actions have very, very real consequences. Kindness still creates positive results. Harm still creates suffering. The rules of the game still apply.
So the ideal path, the ideal state of being, is to act with immense compassion, to engage fully with the world and all its suffering, but to do it all with a mind that remains as open, as spacious, and as unattached as the sky. A mind that doesn't get caught up in the results, the identity, or the drama.
And that beautiful idea leads us to our final section, where we're going to tie it all together and really understand the true meaning of practice, as is presented in this incredible text. So, what's the ultimate purpose of all this giving and letting go? It's something called the dedication of merit. This is the conscious act of taking any positive energy or results from your actions, and instead of holding on to them for yourself, you intentionally direct them outwards for the benefit of every single being. It's the final, ultimate act of non-attachment.
And here it is, the whole thing laid out as a complete, perfect feedback loop. You start by giving. Then you dedicate the merit from that giving to everyone. In doing that, you release your own attachment to the act, and that release leads you deeper into the realization of emptiness, which in turn fuels even more selfless, compassionate giving. It's a perfect, self-reinforcing cycle of wisdom and action.
So, we end with this. The sutra doesn't just leave us with a theory. It leaves us with a powerful, personal question for self-reflection. A way to check in with our own motivations. When we do something good, was there a part of us doing it to prove we're a good person? To build up our spiritual resume? Or did the action simply arise, naturally and without any hidden agenda, from a place of genuine connection? Answering that honestly, well, that's the ultimate gift.